It is a beautiful day out. My goal is tomorrow to make chow. Today's Friday. I'm gonna go get the supplies I need from Tractor Supply, and tomorrow is chow day. Plus, as I promised, I've been practicing channel name Pachamama. I realized that if I say it in Spanish, I can say your name, Pachamama, which I think is absolutely amazing name. I love it. Thank you so much for telling us what it also means, because I like to hear the meaning of names. So my real name, well, I go by the Garden and Worm Lady, and people know me as V, but my real name is Verushka. I have a Russian name. So talk about a tongue twister. All right, guys, worm time. Hey guys, welcome back. So I want to show you something. So this Euro nursery, I've ignored it for about a year. I sold off my worms. I just left the bedding, everything in there. I haven't looked at it. I had it covered in plastic. So I'm telling you, about a year. And look what is still hanging around in here. There are still little worms that are alive down here. I don't know how, but they are. So I'm gonna bring this bin back. Look, I can't believe it. It's damp down here. It goes to show that that plastic, the bubble wrap I put on top, really holds in the moisture to the best of it can. And this is like, we're talking a year. I think this was a mango seed. Oh my gosh. So these little guys here, they're gonna thrive and come back. So look, they even had burlap in here and they ate right through it. So this is dry as dry. All right, I'm gonna wet it down and we're gonna revive this bin, and I'm gonna put some European nightcrawlers in here. So what I'm using to wet this down is my water sprayer. It holds a little more than 4 gallons. It's battery operated, like I've charged the battery, and I absolutely love it. So for now, I'm just gonna wet this down, add the worms, make sure they're okay, and then I'll add more bedding as I go. But for now, we just gotta get this going again. And yeah, I'm adding a lot of water because, well, it's like the desert in here. I mean, look, underneath it's still, you know. It goes to show you how resilient worms can be. So it's time to bring this one back. I'll give them some time to develop, and then I'll put the starter colony up for sale. I'm loving all your questions. When I have more questions, I'll do an answer thing. Maybe I'll even go live and do it. I don't know. We shall see. So the bedding in this thing was cardboard. I had some peat moss in here. I had some leaves from outside. As you can see, there's still like some pieces of dry leaves. So I never put leaves directly from outside in my bin. I always soak them in my sink over here first with some water that has mosquito dunks in it. And I always use hot water. And then after like a day of soaking, then I drain it, and then I add the wet leaves to the bin. And that usually takes care of any little flying insects or anything. European nightcrawlers, guys, they love leaves from outside. And the best castings I've ever gotten from any type of worm have been when I feed leaves. Always. This is dry as dry. Whew. Let's mix. So someone had asked me a question about the light. I leave the light in this room and my next room with the wall on. But honestly, I have another room on the other side of the house that has more of these tubs. I have 3 tubs, and I leave those worms in the dark. And I only do that because I know that there are red wigglers in there. And I'm confident enough to know that they're not going to go anywhere. As long as their bedding is ideal, they won't leave. Now, I don't trust African nightcrawlers like that. They'll take a hike. So, have you all watched Toga's worm channel? He actually found a worm with the 2 tails. Oh my gosh, look guys, another cherry. We're gonna leave him there. I cannot believe I have never found one with 2 tails. That's incredible. And his was like huge. I loved it. Thank you so much for showing me that. My daughter asked me last night if it's the tail that's split in 2 or the head, and I told her it's the tail. And she asked me if the worm uses the tail to push itself, like both ends. And I'm like, well, I'm assuming it does, but Toga will have to do another video on that one and tell us. How incredible, though, is Mother Nature, huh? Mother Nature's like incredible with all these things. This is nice and wet now. They're gonna love this. My goal is to move into the other room entirely and put these all on tables. But my daughter, she had moved out and then decided to come back home to save some money. And all her stuff is stored on the other side of that room over there. So when she moves out again eventually, I'm gonna move into that room. All right, let me get the Euros. So here are the gorgeous Euros. They are beautiful, nice, healthy worms. So I just take it and dump it in here. So I've had these worms in a 20 by 15 by 5 bin, and they've been fine. It's okay to hold them for a few days, you know, you just can't leave them in here. All right, guys. So since I'm not going to be selling these soon because they need a chance, why don't we do an experiment with them? First, let me wet them down, and then I'll go get the ingredient that I want to try. See how they squirm when you wet them? They love it. Another thing is, in this bin, I don't put ice cold water. I never have. I always put, like, I touch the water and I make sure it's like room temperature because I just don't want to shock them. And with African nightcrawlers, guys, I never ever put ice cold water because they are cold sensitive. It will bother them. So let me go get the ingredient. All right. So, this is what I have for them. I have a leftover pumpkin. I had it in the freezer. I have a freezer in the basement, and my bottom shelf is only for my worms. So, we're going to treat the Euros to this because they absolutely love sweets. So, I'm just going to put this here, and I'm going to just go like that all around. Now, this pumpkin's been frozen and thawed out. So, it's going to break down a lot faster than any other pumpkin I've ever, like, tried. I put if you look back at my videos, I put, like, a whole pumpkin in there one time. And I didn't freeze it. It took forever. But, no, this one will do better. And, you know, I'm going to leave the label on here just to see, like, what they do. They're probably going to eat the glue underneath it, and then they're going to probably eat the paper. So we're going to give this some time, and we're going to, like, check on it and just see what they're doing. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm also going to cover this with a damp newspaper but I'm gonna wet that down. Yeah, this sprayer is like my favorite. Very handy. I used to spray it all by hand, by pumping, and my hand just couldn't handle it. My thumbs are better, but they're not perfect, you know. For those of you that don't know, the first time COVID came around, like, I had it really bad and I almost died. Yeah. When I finally recovered, it took like 2 months. The nerves on my thumbs were damaged. And they just weren't working right. I couldn't pick things up. I had a hard time. And that's when that lady, Cheryl, donated that plastic round sifter to me. Because I couldn't, I just couldn't work with the worms. I couldn't harvest them. So that actually got my business side going again, because I was able to then use my thumbs. But my thumbs since then have gotten a lot better. They're not perfect yet. I still drop a lot of things, but they're better. So let's keep an eye on this and see what's going to happen. So now I need a name for this one. This one's Woodstock, because everyone lives in there in harmony. Now I need a name for the Euro one. So comment down below, press that subscribe button. And for those of you that haven't subscribed to my other channel yet, the Composting Worm Lady, please go ahead and do so. I would love to reach 1,000 before Christmas. That would be so awesome. Anyway, I hope you liked this video, guys, and I'll keep you posted, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Some people have asked me when my worms and starter colonies are coming back up for sale. It'll be within this week or maybe next. I'm just giving them all a chance to reset and just fluffing things up and feeding again. And I'm just giving them a little TLC, and then I'll put them back on. So don't worry, they are coming back.